Hi, I'm Abby. This is Abby Matt Reads. Welcome to my review of You by Caroline Kepnes. I'm coming at you from a library I don't know much about. It is the Laurentian Library in Florence, Italy. It's opened in 1571 and I picked it because it was partially designed by Michelangelo. And you can't say that about many libraries, can you? Alright, let's get to the review. Joe works in Mr. Moody's bookshop. He has worked there since he was 15. He is snobbish about the people that come into his bookshop and buy books he deems not highbrow enough, e.g. Dan Brown books, which I'm quite partial to myself, so that kind of wounded me slightly. But he describes himself as sensitive and intelligent, and these are just some of the very few details we get about this obsessive, twisted man. The story begins immediately when a girl walks into Joe's bookshop and he immediately notices her, intently notices her. He scrutinizes her hair, her clothes, the way she walks, her voice. When she sneezes, he imagines her climaxing. Joe pays attention to details the way that Sherlock Holmes does, although he uses them for far more sinister means. The girl addresses herself as Guinevere Beck, but goes by Beck. She has a brief conversation with Joe. She calls him Buddy. He decides she is flirting and the stage is set. As Guinevere Beck is a unique name, that Joe has no problem tracking her down on social media, which he himself is not on. He can follow what she's doing, as like so many of us these days, she puts her life onto the internet. She's also a writer, which is great news for Joe because he can find her work online and get insights into her thoughts, her emotions, even her family life. Joe considers Beck to have an open door policy because she puts so much information online and everything he needs to know is right there. And really, it makes you wonder how vulnerable we all really are with all our lives on social media. A lot of people knowing our business. He sees her as an exhibitionist because of this. And it scares me the way that we don't really know when we're putting all our issues, our dramas, our good times, our fun times, all our photos on there, who's looking at them, or even walking around the house naked because you think you're alone, but Beck is not. By chapter 2, Joe is watching Beck masturbate through her window from across the street, which is something he claims she does about 3 times a day. I mean, are we all easy prey? Beck is intelligent and educated and talented, but she is a sitting target. At first, Joe is angry that she hasn't written about him on social media. She hasn't told any of her followers about him. I mean, for Beck, she has just had a fleeting conversation with a man that works in a bookshop while she was buying books. And for him, absolutely everything has changed. He then, in his scary mind, where he makes these leaps of faith and judgment and decisions that she has not shared him with her followers because he is too special for her to do that. And he decides that she is also masturbating about him. This is how deluded Joe has become, how he will take any little notion of anything and run with it to the extent where he feels as though this isn't just a one-way street, this is reciprocated. Joe understands how this modern society works, even if he is not a part of it. He is a complete observer, not just on Beck, but on society itself. he follows Beck and her friends around to try and get into her life. And you do get this absolute sense, actually, that Beck is quite sad and lonely. And when he follows her when she is drunk to a subway station and she falls onto the tracks, he rescues her, steals her phone, and that is his in. He is now into her life. Even though he deludes himself into thinking that she is just as obsessed with him as he is with her, he really is a kind of genius. All of his steps to kind of entrap her, to get her to need him, everything is thought out meticulously and planned. It is amazing to watch and to follow. So his little intricate dealings with her emotions and his absolute his absolute obliviousness when it comes to his own emotions. It's almost as if he isn't insane at all, but operating on just a much higher level of passion in a way. This book puts the thrill in thriller. It is fast-paced, adrenaline-pumping, psychologically fascinating. I was obsessed with this book. I wanted to know every single little detail of everything that was going to happen. It's funny how this book kind of makes you the stalker. The narrative feels like he's having a one-sided conversation with Beck. And I will say that the worst thing this book does to you is that you kind of not get onto his side, but I found myself getting annoyed on his behalf when he had a setback. It was as if I wanted him to get what he wanted. It's perverse, and it didn't make me feel good about myself, but there you go. Even more awful is that Joe makes me laugh. I don't want to find him funny, but he is funny. He is fun, and I feel like a traitor to all women everywhere. At times you have to check yourself and remember this is nothing about romance. This is creepy. This is dark. This is Ron. And Beck is a vulnerable woman that Joe is preying on. But it can so easily consume you into this saying, yeah, go after her, Joe. Yeah, go on, find love. It's not supposed to be that way. But that's how it makes you feel. I love how the object of Joe's affection is a kind of neurotic, insecure, kind of mess of a woman, really, instead of this perfectly put together, impossibly gorgeous vacuum of a character. It makes it seem a lot more real. There are no major twists and turns. It is a bit twisty at times, but there are no major twists and turns that are thrown in just to make the book exciting. It's exciting enough on its own, and it was a fantastic read. The ending wasn't shocking, but it did make a big impact on me. And I would say, please read this and I give it 5 out of 5 stars, and I would give it 6 if I could. Okay, thank you for watching my review of You. If you have read this book and you have different opinions or the same opinions or any opinions at all whatsoever, put them down below in the comments. You can find me on Twitter at AbbyMattReads and on Facebook.com/AbbyMattReads. Thank you again for watching. Bye.